work out here. No slacking.
Hello guys, Deontay Wilder will be fighting Gerald Washington to defend his WBC World Heavyweight title on the 25th of this month. So it's not this weekend, but next weekend. As I said before, he'll be defending his title. As we know with Wilder, he's had 37 wins with 36 KOs. This guy is a knockout specialist. From the picture you can see, he's very tall with a very long reach. In his last 3 fights have all been KOs. And he's finished in his fights in good fashions and in a good manner. In his last fight against Chris Ariola, he was showing off in front of his home fans and scored various barrages. That's why they call him the Bomber. Now his opponent here, Gerald Washington, is the contender. He's had 18 fights with 0 losses, and he's been ploughing through his competition and been proving that he is the #1 contender. So what about this guy? He's 6'6", so he's quite tall for a heavyweight, and compared to Deontay Wilder, who's 6'7", he's pretty much in the right kind of height range. He's in very good shape, as you can see. From the fights that I've watched, he's quite technical and he has good hand speed for a heavyweight, but he stands straight up and he hasn't got much head movement, which means, and from what I've seen, he looks quite vulnerable to body shots. Now all of these things are things to talk about, but what is really going to happen on the night? Well, firstly, I think Deontay Wilder, that reach that he has is second to none, and he can beat his opponents just off the jab if he wants to. But when Wilder wants to come forward, he's very dangerous and no one can survive his barrages of punches. He has a very good chopping left-right hand, and if he hits it with you numerous of times, you'll go down like most of his opponents. And he also has a good uppercut, and when he's coming for you, he really turns on the gas. Now what does Gerald Washington have in his arsenal? Well, since for having 18 wins, he's knocked out of 12 of his opponents, so power is one of his attributes too. But I think in this matchup, it's good because they're similar heights, and in Wilder's last 3 fights, he's been fighting people that are considerably shorter than him, like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4". He stands at 6'7". I think in his last 3 fights, his hardest fight was against Johann Duapsis, who was 6'5". And in that fight, he did get hit a few times. Now Wilder's not untouchable, but it seems as if nobody can seem to take those barrage of shots. So it will be interesting to see. My personal prediction on this fight is that Wilder will be able to successfully defend his title. I think Washington is a good contender simply because of the height, but I think the skill of Wilder will win it for him on the night. I don't think it's going to be an early stoppage, but I'd give it round 8 TKO for Wilder. I think this will be another one for him to start the year off with a bang and then fight somebody else on the top level, and get Washington out of there. Not to say Washington is not any good. I think he's a very good contender, so this should be a good fight. And even if he was to lose this one, Washington, it's not that much of a bummer. He can still come back from it. This fight will be going on the 25th, so I'll be covering another fight which will be happening this Saturday, guys, so make sure you tune in.